ثوب الكبرياء يا أمتي.
Our topic today is about this hero who probably one of the most people talked about, maybe hated by the deviants and the ignorance and the innovators in the past 2 centuries. This man is, as you know, Muhammad ibn Abdul WAHHAB. He's a man who grew up in the Arabian Peninsula. Muhammad ibn Abdul WAHHAB ibn Sulaiman al-Tamimi. Muhammad ibn Abdul WAHHAB ibn Sulaiman al-Tamimi. He's a reviver. And pay attention to his story, because anyone could do what he did. He resembles a little bit, in a way, that which Nuruddin did. In a different, unique way. Each one had his unique style. What he did, I mean, it's nothing special. Any one of us today could do, and inshallah having these halaqat is a form of what this man did. He was born 1,115 years after the hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means approximately roughly 250 years ago or so. You know, roughly about 250 years ago. So this was a recent man. He's not a sahabi or tabi'i for you to tell me, you know, this guy was a fight. No, this man is only 250 years, meaning his great-grandchildren are still living and we know them, and they're in the Arabian Peninsula. Before I tell you about this man, I want to tell you what went on in the surrounding area where he was living. This time when Muhammad ibn Abdul WAHHAB was born, it's like he himself later on said when he grew up, this ummah hasn't in 400 years seen any good. Meaning a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of corruption, a lot of innovation, a lot of shirk. What do I mean by that? I mean by that, if you went to the Arabian Peninsula itself, the Arabian Peninsula today, what's Saudi Arabia, Hijaz and Mecca and Medina, although you find graves, and on the graves is those qubba. What's qubba called? Dome. And on those domes, people worship. People worship them. People make tawaf on them. People ask the dead instead of Allah. Instead of Allah. This is exactly what Quraysh used to do. If you come to our Aqidah class, this is exactly. He came at a time when it was like that. You go, this is just, there was trees in the Arabian Peninsula where if a woman didn't get pregnant, she'd go and ask that tree. That's not stupid. That's the reality that was there. Now you may look at it and laugh, but no, that was a reality. A man who couldn't find a wife, he goes to a certain area and he asks that person or that tree or that which they think is holy. This is shirk, and this is shirk akbar. You know, there was even qubba around some of the companions' graves, and they would, to point, worship them. That's how shirk started. How shirk started? Pious people died, and people kept their pictures, and those pictures turned into statues. And why did they keep the picture? They said, let us remember these pious people so we can stay pious. It started good, but those pictures turned into statues. The later generation said, oh, we're not gonna follow in their footsteps. We're gonna worship these people themselves. And this is the great deviance. You go to Yemen, the same problem. You go to Iraq, they were worshipping the grave of Abu Hanifa. They had a qubba on the grave of Abu Hanifa and worshipping him. You go to Pakistan and India, same if not worse. In fact, the fact that Algeria, any country, in Egypt, they weren't worshipping just statues. You know those pyramids and those things that the pharaohs left behind? They were worshipping that. They were worshipping and bringing back. These are Muslims. We're not talking about, you know, anyone other than Muslims. These were Muslims. In Egypt, they were worshipping those pyramids and those remains around the pyramid that the old Egyptians left behind. And they were bringing back the trend that was thousands. It left thousands. The religion of those pharaohs, they left thousands of years ago, died and vanished away. Now Muslims, because they were so much astray from the Quran Sunnah, we're bringing that back. This is just a small glimpse of the world when this man was born. And he takes on a huge mission, this man.